10 to 15 wins that you have encountered within this particular month, and make them think for it. And then I say, what are the 3 challenges that we still have to overcome?
Yeah.
And then every month we see how far they come. If the same challenges stick, we need to address those challenges and figure out. But usually it happens like maybe the same challenge will be for 2 months, and then out of 3, there's only 1 or 2 that stayed. So we crossed off 1. But looking at the wins allows them to remind them, okay, I'm actually progressing.
Yeah.
But a lot of people look at progress only visual or only number, but they forget about their mood, energy, sleep, other things, communication with other people, less crying, less emotion, whatever it is.
So it's building that it's building that momentum and feeling like a winner. And then you take actions like a winner when you feel like a winner. And one of the things you said is move better, feel better. Move better, feel better. And for you, I believe that's your genius. So it's interesting you brought up Hormozi. Hormozi says, right, get to work on your business, because that's his thing. And the reason, I mean, he's spoken about this on podcasts before. He had that lack of self-worth from his dad, didn't think he was good enough, had to prove him wrong. So that was Hormozi's genius. Hormozi's genius was, and it's, pain is the greatest teacher. He felt the pain, so he kind of took the action that kind of got rid of that pain as quickly as possible in the day and made him feel like a winner. I think that's a really amazing bit of wisdom, how you put it, is you have to find what makes you tick. What's that thing that you can do straight away in the day that is going to make you feel like a winner? And if you feel good and you feel like a winner, like you're doing with your clients, where you're building that winner effect, you're going to keep taking actions as a winner, whatever that looks like for you. And anyone who says, hey, here's the morning routine, you need to meditate, ice bath, then do this, they're missing the point. The biggest thing, I mean, people remember how you left them feeling, not what you said. And, all our decisions are made moving us closer away from pain and closer to pleasure. So it's kind of all fits into that. But I really love that that's kind of like an underlying principle of everything that you're doing, and building winners, okay? But whatever that looks like for them as well, actually building winners. I wanted to sort of ask, and that idea of move better, feel better, how important, I mean, we can often kind of think of where we are at the moment. I think I'm healthy, but health is something that if we don't look after it, then we make these bad decisions over time. It's going to leave us, and we're going to have to overcorrect. Getting older, people you work with, all of this stuff, how important do you see being able to move, your mobility, your health in that area, how does that link to general well-being? How is that going to, do people realize how their mobility, how they're moving is going to affect them, not just today, but in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? And this whole idea of move better, feel better, how is that going to impact people? How is movement going to be one of the keys that's going to unlock them feeling good for, the next decade, and not just, today?
Well, let's break it down this way. Like, let's try an example. Let's say when you get sick, the only thing you're thinking about is, how can I not be sick?
Yes.
Right? So we've taken our health for granted until it manifested as a disease, right? So whenever you get sick and you cannot hang out with your friends or even work or do anything, and you're laying in bed, all you say like, yo, I can't wait to get better. I can't wait to get better, right? Like, and you start really appreciating things, right? When you get in pain, it's exactly the same thing. You go like, okay, well, I don't want to be in pain. Let's say if you play basketball like I used to, I'm like, oh, I just want to go play basketball with my friends. That's what makes me happy, but I cannot do it. Then you start doing work and you're like, oh, but I can't even do work because I'm sitting in this position on the laptop and my neck is constantly hurting, right? So I can't be as productive.
Yeah.
So over time, if you don't have your health, we don't think about it, but your productivity goes down. The same thing, if you don't get good enough sleep over time, right? Then you're sitting like a zombie, so you're not creating a good output of work. So if you think about it, move better, feel better, right? It's kind of like, it's a generalization altogether. You don't have to move every day. You don't have to be a crazy athlete, But what you need to do, you have to come up with some kind of routine that will keep a balanced life, that will allow you to do things that you enjoy and allows you to perform at the high level. Right? So majority of deaths and older age, or a very high percentage of death at older age, happens from hip breaks. Just because you don't have enough strength or stability, you slip, you break a hip. Usually people die after hip break, like I think it's like 8 months or 12 months. Like it's a very crazy number that when you look at it. Also, if your spine doesn't move well, your health deteriorates significantly, right? So segmentally being able to move, like do a spinal wave, like a stripper, let's say, right? Or a yogi, if we are not R-rated, right?
Either's good, yeah.
Either good. But I'm saying, like, if you can't move your spine well, right, and you're not stuck like this and you cannot bring the shoulders back, it automatically improves your health drastically, right? So that's why I'm not saying mobility cannot build muscle, but it can make you feel good, right? There's two major culprits of living longer and being healthy is healthy joints and more muscle mass and strength.
Healthy joints, so living longer, healthy joints and more muscle mass.
And strength.
Okay.
Right? Because the stronger you are, the more bone density you have, it means you can perform harder tasks. The more mobile you have, which is mobility is just moving from ability to move freely, right?
Yeah.
In different positions, right? So the more fun things you can do, so you enjoy life way more. And then the older we get, the more muscle mass we have, the more muscle acts as a hormone signaling molecule, because the older we get, the less our hormones become responsive. So that's a big thing. That's why a lot, for women especially, and I don't remember her name, but her name is Dr. Gabriel something. I can't fully remember. She always advocates to eat more protein and build more muscle, especially for women, because we become less responsive to our hormones, and the more muscle we have, the more muscle can utilize glucose, making it more efficient for us, and then we can stay leaner, and at the same time, the better it signals for our hormones to work. Okay. Right? So putting together having more muscle mass, having more strength, and having more mobility automatically will improve your overall health. If you add cardiovascular fitness on top of it, then you become at like top of a top. Doesn't matter like whether you're an athlete or something, because cardiovascular fitness obviously is good. But if you train properly, you also will be able to build your cardiovascular fitness to the high level.
This is awesome, man. And I think this is a great, interesting place to sort of unpack a few things. One of the things I've been studying is kind of like Taoism, and I find it finds itself in all areas of life. And one of the kind of lines in the Tao is that in death, men are hard and brittle, and in life, and it relates everything back to nature. In life, men are flexible and nimble. Same as like a tree. For a tree to be alive, it has to blow with the wind. You look at a palm tree. It's things that are alive are flexible. Things that are dead are hard and brittle, you know? So I find it funny how it kind of seeps into all areas of life. Now, when I met you, you very plainly said to me, hey man, I see that you've got a few problems with your shoulders. That's not right. Look, your posture, clearly that needs fixing. And, but I love that, man. But here's the thing. If I'm aware, so my question is going to be like, how can people measure where they are with this? Because if I try and hike up a mountain and I'm puffing out after 20 minutes, I know that I need to work on my cardio. If I can no longer do a push-up, I know that I need to work on my strength. If I'm feeling fucking tired all of the time, I need to know that I get more sleep. Like, it's very obvious. There's a very sort of obvious correlation. I'm feeling like this, I probably need to do this thing. For me personally, mobility is not something that I myself and maybe a lot of other people are kind of testing on a daily basis. Like, I go for a run most days. I know where I am with my fitness. I know where I am with my diet. If I eat a pizza, the next day I know I've eaten a pizza. With mobility, what can people do to be aware of where they are with their mobility? How can people test it for themselves and get a good gauge of, right, where am I with my mobility health? Perhaps you have a name for it, my mobile health, or whatever that's called.
I mean, it's quite simple.